Did you call bank? I called game.
Video was made possible and sponsored by MMOCS. Buy cheap NBA 2K MT at MMOCS.com. Use my promo code PACG and you can get a 5% discount. What's up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here. I was out of town, so sorry I haven't made a video in the past like 4 or 5 days. I'm sorry about that, you guys, but I am back now. And something big happened yesterday, and that was Jimmy Butler being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a big monster trade, especially in the start of the season. It's crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it in 2K and see who has the better trade, talk about my opinions, see who won that trade. Expect this video to be edited very little because it is already 7:30 and I need to get this video done like fast. Be an OG, join the Pack Nation, and subscribe to this channel because when you're not an OG, you're a no-G, and no one wants to be an OG. Let's get this video started. Okay, so we are on the Philadelphia 76ers. Now the Philadelphia 76ers have a brand new player. His name is Jimmy Buckets, or Jimmy Jordan, or Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is tied with Joel Embiid as the best player on the Sixers, and I can say confidently, I expect Joel Embiid to be slightly better than Jimmy Butler. Is Ben Simmons worse than Jimmy Butler? That's something that we're going to kind of have to see. It's going to depend on how well he meshes with the team. But worst case scenario, Jimmy Butler is the third best player on this team, which is still pretty good. Now you ask, who did they trade for? And that is the Timberwolves. They ended up trading Jimmy Butler for Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Now both these players are on the Timberwolves. They're both considered to be the third and fourth best players on this team respectively, but it's wrong because Derrick Rose has been playing so well. Expect them to be the fourth and fifth best players. Do I expect them to change at all throughout the season? No. I believe Andrew Wiggins is better than Robert Covington and Dario Saric, and obviously Karl-Anthony Towns is better than them too. So they're still going to be about the fourth and fifth best players on this team. They add really good starting and role players to this Timberwolves team. Do I think it's enough for them to make the playoffs? I don't know. It's the West, and the West is doing very good, so it's kind of like I don't know. This was more of like a future move because you have a prime Robert Covington and a young Dario Saric with young Wiggins and young Cat and prime Derrick Rose. It's kind of like let's see what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. So I understand the move, especially because Jimmy Butler was kind of being annoying and not wanting to play with the Timberwolves. According to 2K, Jimmy Butler will be the starting shooting guard on the team, so it's going to be TJ McConnell, Jimmy Butler, Wilson Chandler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. Pretty solid starting lineup. You have 3 great players in the starting lineup. I definitely see Wilson Chandler starting. I could definitely see that. Or they could put Jimmy Butler at the small forward and start JJ Redick. Either way, they could do that. So according to 2K, they have Derrick Rose as starting point guard, of course, but then they have Okogie shooting guard, Covington small forward, Gibson power forward, and Karl-Anthony Towns center. You could argue that Wiggins is probably going to start over like Robert Covington. I'm pretty confident about that. And then Sarge might start over Gibson. I'm not too sure about that, but it might happen. And then Okogie, what you could do is put Wiggins at the shooting guard and then put Robert Covington at the small forward, and that could be your starting lineup, which isn't the worst starting lineup ever. That's kind of up in the air. Ignore the Derrick Rose 77. That's more like an 83 overall. And I mean, when you look at it that way, the team's not that bad, but that's something we're just gonna have to see. In my opinion, I say the Sixers win because you're adding another great player on the team, and you're already in an East that isn't as good as the West, so you have a good chance of making it to the finals with a young team. I get the trade. I understand the trade completely, and I think they won this trade while the Timberwolves are kind of thinking about a couple more years in the future. I don't really expect the Wolves, and they might get 8th or 7th seed, but I don't expect that too much from them. So what do you guys think? Is this trade for the Sixers cash or trash? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like my channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.
Did you call back?